What's wrong with politics today? Hillary Clinton will say anything to get elected. Now she's making false attacks on Barack Obama. The Washington Post says Clinton isn't telling the truth. She championed NAFTA, even though it has cost South Carolina thousands of jobs. And worst of all, it was Hillary Clinton who voted for George Bush's war in Iraq. Hillary Clinton, she'll say anything and change nothing. It's time to turn the page. Paid for by Obama for America.
I'm Barack Obama, candidate for president, and I approve this message.
Mexico is such an important problem. Mexican government's policies are pushing migration north. There isn't any sensible approach except to do what we need to do simultaneously, secure our borders with technology, personnel, physical barriers if necessary in some places, and we need to have tougher employer sanctions, and we need to try to incentivize Mexico to do more. If they've committed transgressions of whatever kind, they should be obviously deported.
What do we really know about Hillary Clinton? We know that, as senator, Hillary passed no landmark legislation. Her health care plan as First Lady cost the Democrats control of Congress. Hillary Clinton was keeping secrets from the American people that led to the deaths of American citizens. Do we really want a president who will keep secrets from us? Hillary doesn't support corporations.
Don't let anybody tell you that, it's corporations and businesses that create jobs.
If Hillary does not understand our job market or economy, she is not fit to run our country. Don't let Hillary create more problems in the White House.
I'm Jeb Bush, and I approve this message.
I'm out in Reading.
Basic argument, her basic view about this election is that the say anything, do anything, special interest driven politics of Washington, that's how it's got to be. That's how the game is played. And so you should elect her to be your nominee because she's been in Washington longer and she knows how to play the game better. Now, that's the argument.
The difference between talk and action?
I don't take money from oil companies or Washington lobbyists.
But in the last 10 years, Barack Obama has taken almost $2 million from lobbyists, corporations, and PACs. The head of his New Hampshire campaign is a drug company lobbyist. In Indiana, an energy lobbyist. A casino lobbyist in Nevada. And Obama's attacking Hillary? She'll get rid of billions in corporate tax rates and use that money to create jobs and rebuild the middle class. That's leadership you can count on.
I'm Hillary Clinton, and I approve this message.
Wow. Smear attack. Okay. So he fired right back at Hillary with this ad.
I'm Barack Obama, and I approve this message.
Newspapers call Hillary Clinton's negative attacks the old politics. And now, in the final hours, she's launched the most misleading and negative ad of the campaign. Barack Obama doesn't take money from special interest PACs or Washington lobbyists. Not one dime. But federal records show Clinton's raised millions from PACs and lobbyists, more than any candidate in either party. 11th hour smears, paid for by lobbyist money. Isn't that exactly what we need to change?
I expected this out of John McCain. But I've got to say, I'm a little disappointed when I start hearing the exact same talking points coming out of my Democratic colleague, Hillary Clinton. She knows better. She knows better. Shame on her. Shame on her. She knows better. Huh. She's running around talking about how this is an insult to sportsmen. How she values the Second Amendment. She's talking like she's Annie Oakley. Hillary Clinton's out there, like she's out in the duck blind every Sunday. She's packing a 6-shooter. Come on. She knows better. That's some politics being played by Hillary Clinton. I want to see that picture of her out there in the duck blind. You know, come on.
Good morning, I'm George Stephanopoulos, and we are coming on the air because we have just learned that the U.S. ambassador to Libya has been killed. It happened overnight. When angry militants stormed the U.S. consulate in Benghazi, Libya, they fired shots, set the building on fire. Almost a dozen Americans were inside being guarded by Libyan security. At least one other American died, most likely of smoke inhalation.
You did not read the cables from Benghazi. You did not read the cables from Ambassador Stevens. I would have relieved you of your post. These are judgment errors, and the people who make judgment errors need to be replaced, fired, and no longer in a position of making these judgment calls.
You had two ambassadors that made several requests, and here's basically what happened to their requests. They were torn up.
I don't know why that's funny.
I'm sorry, a little note of levity at 7:15.
Well, I mean, the reason I say it's not funny is because it went well into the night when our folks on the ground were still in danger.
As senator, Hillary Clinton has fallen short time and time again on the promises she made to the American people. In fact, Clinton has flip-flopped on almost every type of political issue just for the sake of her popularity ratings. From matters of national security, to social justice, to international affairs, Hillary Clinton clearly has no problem abandoning any belief she claims to hold as long as she looks good for doing it. America deserves a leader who will actually make tough choices, take firm action, and do what is best for the country no matter what. Hillary Clinton has proven that she is not this leader. So this election day, make the right choice.
Powerful interests have tried to capture Washington and rig the system in their favor. The power of well-funded special interests tilts our democracy away from the people and toward the powerful. Action is required to defend our great democracy against those who would see it perverted into one more rigged game where the rich and the powerful always win.
In Benghazi, a terrorist attack that claimed the lives of the U.S. ambassador to Libya and 3 other American staff.
Address the video circulating on the internet that has led to these protests.
We have no doubt they were terrorists, they were militants, they attacked us, they killed our people. But what was going on and why they were doing what they were doing
Again, we were misled that there were supposedly protests and then something sprang out of that.
And Hillary and Panetta and Biden, every one of them came up to me, gave me a big hug, and I asked them what happened. Please tell me. And every one of them says it was the video. And we all know that it wasn't the video. Even at that time, they knew it wasn't the video. So they all lied to me.
You talk about leveling with the American people. Have you always told the truth?
I've always tried to. What difference at this point does it make? Very well, 1980, 1984, 1988, 1992, where some who had contested in the primaries, were determined to carry their case to the convention. No one has the nomination. So, honestly, I just believe that this is the most important job in the world. It's the toughest job in the world. You should be willing to campaign for every vote. You should be willing to debate anytime, anywhere. unprecedented in history. I don't understand it. And, you know, between my opponent and his camp and some in the media, there has been this urgency to end this. And, you know, historically that makes no sense. So I find it a bit of a mystery.
You don't buy the party unity argument?
I don't, because again, I've been around long enough. You know, my husband did not wrap up the nomination in 1992 until he won the California primary somewhere in the middle of June, right? We all remember Bobby Kennedy was assassinated in June in California. You know, I don't understand it. And, you know, there's lots of speculation about why it is, but...
What's your speculation?
You actually used those words in this America, Senator, while running against an African-American man who, against the death threat started the moment he declared his campaign. You actually used those words in this America, Senator, while running to break your greatest glass ceiling and claiming there are people who would do anything to stop you. You, Senator, never mind the implications of using the word assassination in any context relative to Senator Obama. What about you? You cannot say this. God knows, Senator, in this campaign, the nation has had to forgive you early and often. And despite your now traditional position of the offended victim, this nation has forgiven you. We have forgiven you your misspeaking about Martin Luther King's relative importance to the civil rights movement. We have forgiven you your misspeaking about your under-fire landing in Bosnia. We have forgiven you insisting Michigan's vote would not count and then claiming those who would not count it were undemocratic. We have forgiven you the photos of Osama bin Laden in an anti-Obama ad. We have forgiven you the 3 a.m. phone call commercial. We have forgiven you President Clinton's disparaging comparison of the Obama candidacy to Jesse Jackson's. We have forgiven you Geraldine Ferraro's national radio interview suggesting Obama would not still be in this race had he been a white man. We have forgiven you for your boasting of your support among working, hardworking Americans, white Americans. But, Senator, we cannot forgive you this. The politics of this nation is steeped enough in blood, Senator Clinton. You cannot and must not invoke that imagery anywhere, at any time. And to not appreciate immediately, to still not appreciate tonight just what you have done today, is to reveal an incomprehension about the America you seek to lead. This, Senator, is too much, because a senator, a politician, a person who can let hang in midair the prospect that she might just be sticking around in part just in case the other guy gets shot has no business being and no capacity to be the President of the United States.
Our Constitution is being shredded. We know about the secret White House email accounts.
As Secretary Clinton unilaterally decided to wipe her server clean and permanently delete all emails from her personal server.
I'm proud of the work we have done to elevate diplomacy and development.
Our allies don't trust us. Our enemies don't fear us.
The death of an American ambassador.
3 members of a U.S. security team on the ground in Benghazi.
What difference at this point does it make?
The Senate Intelligence Committee review found the attack was preventable. The report blamed the State Department for not increasing security in Benghazi.
Secretary of State Hillary Clinton, they wanted to reset relations with Russia and with Putin.
How'd that go?
How's that working out?
Not really working out well.
The Russian military now being directly involved in fighting Ukrainian government forces.
Many of the members of Congress of both parties who have gone to Syria have said they believe he's a reformer. I remember landing under sniper fire. There was no greeting ceremony, and we basically were told to run to our cars. Now that is what happened.
There was no sniper fire.
I misspoke. Yeah, I totally misspoke. But we came out of the White House not only dead broke, but in debt.
Looking at the book advance she had, was leaving the White House $8 million plus.
You know what? Rich people, God bless us.
Quinnipiac University found Hillary Clinton's lead is dwindling against Republican candidates.
A new poll out this morning shows former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton losing
ground in key states, including Iowa.
Are you saying America should blindly trust her judgment?
There's one set of rules to the Clinton. You remember Whitewater? Do you remember Foulgate? You remember Travelgate? You remember Pardongate? You remember Benghazi?
Less than half say Mrs. Clinton is honest and trustworthy.
I think I'm probably the most transparent person in public life.
Putting away the softballs, Univision's Jorge Ramos brought what's been missing during Dem debates: hard-hitting questions.
On the night of the attacks in Benghazi, you sent an email to your daughter, Chelsea, saying that Al-Qaeda lie group was responsible for the killing of the Americans. However, some of the families claim that you lied to them. Secretary Clinton, did you lie to them?
Just to refresh, here's what Hillary Clinton and President Obama said.
We've seen rage and violence directed at American embassies over an awful internet video that we had nothing to do with.
It was a crude and disgusting video. Sparked outrage throughout the Muslim world. Now, I have made it clear that the United States government had nothing to do with this video.
The problem is, they both knew it wasn't the video. Hillary Clinton said so in her own email.
You're looking at an email you sent to your family. Here's what you said. At 11 o'clock that night, approximately 1 hour after you told the American people it was a video, you say to your family, 2 officers were killed today in Benghazi by an Al-Qaeda-like group. And most significantly, the next day, within 24 hours, you had a conversation with the Egyptian Prime Minister. You told him this: we know the attack in Libya had nothing to do with the film. It was a planned attack, not a protest.
So what did Mrs. Clinton have to say about being called a liar by a Benghazi victim's mother, Patricia Smith?
You know, look, I feel a great deal of sympathy for the families of the 4 brave Americans that we lost at Benghazi. And I certainly can't even imagine the grief that she has for losing her son. But she's wrong. She's absolutely wrong. At the time I emailed with my daughter, a terrorist group had taken credit for the attacks on our facility in Benghazi.
Hang on. Let's take that back.
We know, not we think, not it might be, we know the attack in Libya had nothing to do with the film. It was a planned attack, not a protest.
Within 16, 18 hours, they rescinded taking credit. They did it all on social media. And the video did play a role. We have captured one of the lead terrorists, and he admits it was both a terrorist attack and it was influenced by the video.
So which is it? First you say it was from a video, but in an email you claim it was a planned attack. Now it's both? Do you trust Hillary Clinton?
State Department experts knew the truth. You knew the truth. But that's not what the American people got.
But I want to say one thing to the American people. I want you to listen to me. I'm going to say this again. I did not have sexual relations with that woman, Miss Lewinsky. I never told anybody to lie, not a single time, never. These allegations are false.
Fool me once. Shame on you. If fool me, can't get fooled again.
Have you always told the truth?
I've always tried to. Always. Always.
Some people are going to call that wiggle room that you just gave yourself.
Well, no,
always tried to.
No,
I mean,
always
Jimmy Carter said, "I will never lie to you."
Well, but that's. But you know, you're asking me to say, "Have I ever?" I don't believe I ever have.
Fool me once. Shame on you. If fool me, can't get fooled again.
The way to continue our fight now to accomplish the goals for which we stand is to take our energy, our passion, our strength, and do all we can to help elect Barack Obama the next President of the United States. Today, as I suspend my campaign, I congratulate him on the victory he has won and the extraordinary race he has run. I endorse him and throw my full support behind him. And I ask all of you to join me in working as hard for Barack Obama as you have for me. I have served in the Senate with him for 4 years. I have been in this campaign with him for 16 months. I have stood on the stage and gone toe-to-toe with him in 22 debates. I've had a front row seat to his candidacy, and I have seen his strength and determination, his grace and his grit. In his own life, Barack Obama has lived the American dream as a community organizer in the state Senate, as a United States Senator. He has dedicated himself to ensuring the dream is realized. And in this campaign, he has inspired so many to become involved in the democratic process and invested in our common future. Now, when I started this race, I intended to win back the White House and make sure we have a president who puts our country back on the path to peace, prosperity, and progress. And that's exactly what we're going to do by ensuring that Barack Obama walks through the doors of the Oval Office on January 20th, 2009.
For more than a year now, across thousands of miles in all 50 states, tens of millions of Americans have made their voices heard. Today, I just want to add mine. I want to congratulate Hillary Clinton on making history as the presumptive Democratic nominee for President of the United States. Look, I know how hard this job can be. That's why I know Hillary will be so good at it. In fact, I don't think there's ever been someone so qualified to hold this office. She's got the courage, the compassion, and the heart to get the job done. And I say that as somebody who had to debate her more than 20 times. Even after our own hard-fought campaign, in a testament to her character, she agreed to serve our country as Secretary of State. And from the decision we made in the Situation Room to get bin Laden, to our pursuit of diplomacy in capitals around the world, I have seen her judgment. I've seen her toughness. I've seen her commitment to our values up close. I've seen her determination to give every American a fair shot at opportunity, no matter how tough the fight was. That's what has always driven her, and it still does. So I want those of you who've been with me from the beginning of this incredible journey to be the first to know that I'm with her. I am fired up, and I cannot wait to get out there and campaign for Hillary. I also want to thank everybody who turned out to vote and who worked so hard for our candidates. This has been a hard-fought race. I know some say these primaries have somehow left the Democratic Party more divided. Well, you know, they said that 8 years ago as well. But just like 8 years ago, there are millions of Americans, not just Democrats, who've cast their ballots for the very first time. And a lot of that is thanks to Senator Bernie Sanders, who has run an incredible campaign. I had a great meeting with him this week, and I thanked him for shining a spotlight on issues like economic inequality and the outsized influence of money in our politics, and bringing young people into the process. Embracing that message is going to help us win in November. But more importantly, it'll make the Democratic Party stronger, and it will make America stronger. Secretary Clinton and Senator Sanders may have been rivals during this primary, but they're both patriots who love this country, and they share a vision for the America that we all believe in. an America that's hopeful, an America that's big-hearted, an America that is strong and fair and gives every child the same chance that we had. Those are the values that unite us as Democrats. Those are the values that make America great. Those are the values that are going to be tested in this election. And if we all come together in common effort, I'm convinced we won't just win in November. We'll build on the progress that we've made, and we will win a brighter future for this country that we love.
Clinton wants to allow radical Islamic terrorists to pour into our country. They enslave women and they murder gays. I don't want them in our country.
1 month ago, I began a conversation with all of you, and so far, we haven't stopped talking, and that's really good. I intend to keep telling you exactly where I stand on all of the issues.
I'm looking at how to help you and other people who are hardworking like you.
And I've really been impressed by how serious people are, because we all need to be part of the discussion if we're all going to be part of the solution.
I don't want people who already agree with me. I want honest, experienced, hardworking, patriotic people who want to be part of a team, the American team. I hope you've learned a little bit more about what I'm believing and trying to do, and really helped this conversation about our country get started.
I hope to keep this conversation going all the way to November 2008.